Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's 8:30 in the morning. It's Tuesday because the stock market was closed yesterday. I'm going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. I'm also going to take a look in the S&P 500. We're just going to do a little bit of an analysis here. Just get ready for the short week that we have. Before I get into all of this, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your risk, doing your own research, and I'm just giving my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and move on into the chart. Starting here with Bitcoin, and basically what I'm looking at here from like a higher time frame perspective, looking at the end of November, December, going into January, and now just getting ready to complete February. We only have about a week left in February here. And just to take a look at the higher time frame cycles, what I'm looking at is we obviously have the completion of something down here, and what looks to me like a little bit of a diagonal moving up. I've seen a couple different variations out there where we could potentially have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an expanded flat going here into wave 2, which would which would really look a little bit with this being the 1. We've got the A, B, C going down here into the 2. That is a valid valid count for an expanded flat. So I'm not going to discount it, but at the end of the day, what happened back then really doesn't matter so much. What matters now is where we are, and where we are right now, it's looking pretty good. Obviously, we have a good area right here. We're going to call this our major demand zone, because this is a pretty this is a pretty good demand zone that we've got here. So we have to, we have to pay attention to it. So we've got this demand zone, which we bounced off of, right, which was created by these highs right here. This resistance was now reclaimed as support. And now we're kind of at a point where we're above where our previous resistance was again. Okay, and this is important for us to continue to maintain. As long as we're continuing to maintain getting higher highs, and then getting price action above prior resistance and sort of maintaining above it, this is really a good thing. So what I'm really looking for right now is when is this move going to be completed? And I've been talking about this cycle being potentially complete here in the next couple weeks. I'd give this another maybe 2-3 weeks for it to completely play out, which means we may have some pullbacks between now and then. But I really do believe we're probably going to get up here to this 27,500 to 27,800 area. Maybe even as high as this 28,260, but I'd be looking for anywhere in this red area to be on the lookout for a potential pullback, because again, we've been going up for quite some time now, and it's time for there to be a more significant pullback. So again, I'm going to try and kind of take a look at this. After you usually have 5 moves, what we usually see is a correction of the entire move. So what's that going to look like? Get a fib retrace down here at the very bottom, which is going to be about 15,500, and going all the way up here to the top, which is going to be, again, let's go ahead and put it right here on this 382, which is going to be at about 27,426. We're going to be taking a look here for, let me get this here, we're not going to be in reverse, and we're going to be taking a look and move to potentially the 382, the 50, or the golden zone, which is going to be down here at the 618 to the 65. Now, the probability that it comes all the way down here is going to be pretty small, but what the move is really going to look like is, if this all works well, what we're going to do is have a little bit of a move down here to about 24,286, and then we're going to start to see this move here to go up to complete this move. And after we get that move, more than likely, it's going to go all the way into middle to the end of April for this next correction to work itself out, which is going to look probably a little bit like this. But again, it's more than likely going to extend out quite a bit. Give it a lot of time to play out, because this is more than likely what this move is going to look like. And that's a significant move. So let's just talk about this. Now, from where we're at right now, we're talking about another potentially 12% up. But if we do happen to get to that target of 27,850, we're talking about like a 20% pullback, which is, honestly, it's quite common in this particular space. What you're going to find is you're going to have a lot of people that are going to see a little breakout up here. They're going to start getting long, and these are late to the party, right? You're going to get some late to the party longs here. And again, I'm talking about Bitcoin in specific. Bitcoin in particular. We're not talking about altcoins, things like that, because those are going to be really interesting along the way as well. But late long going into Bitcoin, when you get up here to this 27,000 area, they're likely again going to get decimated because they're late to the party, right? Then we're going to see this real steep pullback, again, probably going to this halftime cycle, which is going to be right here, right around April 20th. And from there, I do think that we're probably going to continue a pretty significant move to the upside. This is going to be a larger correction, and it could go as low as 20,000, although I think that's less likely. If we do happen to see something like this, watching this come down here to 20,620 at this 50 would make a lot of sense. And again, this 50 isn't concrete because, we're really sort of, waiting for the actual top to come in. When the actual top gets here, then we'll make a determination where we think that correction is going to go. But we need to see basically a rejection, and we need to start seeing these resistance levels that have been reclaimed as support levels. We need to start seeing them get taken out. And so that's where I believe we're looking at on Bitcoin. But in the short term, looking at, say, a 15-minute, we're starting to see this type of formation, which we have seen over and over again. So this is, looking like, an A, B, C, D, and working on this wave E, which again, this could come still yet today. It might be tomorrow where this comes. We're starting to see, at least on the 15-minute time frame, we're starting to see a little bit of a buy signal here. And let's just, again, on the 15-minute, where were the last buy signals that we have seen? Right here was a significant one. And this was outlined by not only the Wave Master, but we had a buy on the momentum indicator as well. We had another buy. It was approximately right here. That also, both of these worked out really, really well. We had another buy signal, which was right here, and that had a decent move up and out of there. And then down here, we had another buy signal right here. And so now we're at the point where we had a buy signal basically right here. At the same time, the momentum indicator was indicating like, hey, we're probably going to see a momentum reversal. Hey, Amit, glad to see you on the YouTube this morning. Likely, we're probably going to see a little bit of a reversal here, but it could be short-lived. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens because we do have the red wave and the white wave that are starting to turn over. So it could be that we do see something a little bit like this happen to get our move down here into this area, which more than likely is going to go back down to our area of support, which is going to be at about 24,200. We're still looking really, really good in at least the short term to see a move to continue to go up to the targets that I was just discussing. Off of these lows here, this wave 4, this is looking like we've got a pretty complex wave 4 that's going on here. We've got a big 1, a little 2, 3, and then a big complex 4 to go up into wave 5. Now, if this falls out of here, well, then obviously it looks to me like this move is complete, and we're probably going to go back down here to our support area at about 21,000 sooner rather than later, but I think the probability of that is, at the moment, pretty small. But what about the S&P 500? What does that look like right now? Let's just go ahead and take a look at the SPX. So looking here at SPX, what we've got, we were talking about buy zones last week, so we're just going to clear those out. We were having some discussions on the Discord about potential bounce zones. And, looking at the way that the market structure looks right now, we're starting to see a little bit of bullish divergence here on the 15-minute time frame. And looking at this from a structure standpoint, and looking at this guy right here as well, I'll go ahead and color him in white, make him a little bit thicker so that we can see this. We were talking about a bump and run reversal on the S&P where we've got a nice solid trend line right here. We'll call this the mean. And then we had a little bit of a bump, right? So we've got a bump, and now we're starting to break down out of here. And what I was expecting to happen is we would get a little bit of a push up either today or tomorrow to get up here into this zone before we saw kind of a more significant correction, which again, this could happen quickly. It could take a little bit longer. One way or another, if we do get this breakdown, it's more than likely going to stop at this trend line right here. This is going to be probably one of the more important trend lines of the first half, or the first quarter at least, of 2023. And we still have a little bit over a month left in this quarter. So watching this trend line, this is going to be important for bulls. This is very, very important for bulls. So let's get this over here. We'll kind of put it down here on the bottom so that we can kind of keep an eye on this, because this is important for bulls for first quarter 2023. As long as we can maintain price action above this zone, then I think that we have a good probability that we're going to go up to that 4,300 area before we see a more significant correction, maybe in the second quarter, maybe in the third quarter. We're just going to have to wait and see. If we break this zone, well, chances are very, very good that the S&P is going to be moving down more significantly down here below 3,700 into the 3,600s before we find really any significant signs of support. So we'll be watching for that in particular. So this is the S&P 500. This is Bitcoin. More than happy to take a look at other things that you've got. If you want me to take a look at anything, go ahead and go on over into Twitter or onto Discord if you're on our Discord, which, by the way, if you need access to our Discord, you can find all that information on BitDoctor.org, which gives you access to educational content, trade ideas. We've been absolutely destroying crypto this year so far. We've got 300-400% on Alchemy Pay. We've got a really good place on Near. We've got a lot that are just brewing, just waiting for big moves to come out of there. But if you need access to all of that, you can find all that information on BitDoctor.org. And last but not least, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, and good evening. Take care, everybody.